Welcome back. For 5 years. Why are we doing this with 68-year-old men out there that aren't even wearing glasses? Welcome back. I had no idea that was coming.
You're welcome.
That was funny.
What a night it's already been. My goodness. We are live coming at you after the Bearcats loss in New Orleans. Final score of 101-94 in overtime. I have no idea what I just watched, largely because the broadcast was horrendous, absolutely dreadful. I think it reminded me of middle school when I was trying to watch channels that I wasn't allowed to watch. That was a real thing. But it was god awful. The announcers made a big deal about a 4,000 seat arena that they were going to blow the lid off, which I think it's because they could actually touch the ceiling from the top row, while the towel continued to be in the shot the entire game, because God forbid you put a box up for the camera to be on. I don't know, maybe because the ceiling was right there. I don't know. Unbelievable. Where are we going to begin on this one? Good Lord. Reagan, welcome to the show. Guest host, filling in for Jeff as he is got some things going on with work. But where do we want to start with this?
I guess we start with the game, I guess.
Thanks, Ed.
I mean, it was horrendous at the end. I mean, the beginning was great. Well, I mean, not the very beginning when we weren't doing so hot, but like last 10 minutes.
Rough.
Yeah.
Beginning started out real rough.
Yeah, the last 10 minutes of the first half were great. Put the kids to bed and then came back down for the last 3 minutes and the wheels fell off.
Yeah, the halftime score was 37-28. That's insane for a score that finished at 101-94.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. 25 of those points came in the last minute of overtime.
I mean, that last minute of overtime, I feel like took 35 minutes.
I think it did actually.
I actually do feel that way as well.
I'm not sure that's far off. I don't know.
No, I don't think you're far off.
Unbelievable. First half though, not great on either team. 32.5% by Cincinnati in the first half, 32.1% by Tulane in the first half. Cincinnati was in love with the three-pointer, shooting 6 of 22, while Tulane shot 2 of 8. Both teams rebounded the same, 23 each. Cincinnati was not really turning the ball over, only 2 turnovers, whereas Tulane had 8 turnovers in the first half. And then the second half happened. And
shout out to Odie for getting that double-double, though. I'm happy for him.
Hey,
Odie had a
well done, Odie.
He had a good game, especially with Vic going down. And then you also, of course, had Rob Finney going down. Neither looked good. Neither player was able to get themselves off the court without assistance.
It looked like Rob's was obviously more serious than Victor's, but
yeah, he didn't put pressure on either foot. I don't know if that was because the shoulders he was holding were a little taller than he was, and they were able to carry him out. Whereas Vic was kind of leaning down for that support.
He said, "I'll help you out." Yeah.
I still have no idea how to even begin on the second half. Big minutes though big minutes by Odie. He puts up 16 points, 13 boards. Kalu Zikpe also had a pretty good night for filling in some of those minutes for Vic Lock in there.
9 points, 9 minutes.
Yeah. Ed, I mean, I know you're a big basketball guy. Where was your head the second half there?
Well, I mean, if we're going to be honest, I missed the whole second half except for the last 3 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, sorry. But like it just seemed like they stopped playing the same basketball. This is stupid, right? This is what I'm about to say, but it just seemed like they stopped playing the same basketball they were playing before. Like it was they were relying on hero ball. They were launching up threes for no reason when they could have been running plays. I don't mean to question Wes, but it probably should have called a timeout at the end of the regulation when they had the ball with 15, 20 seconds left on the clock. And maybe it was less than that. And maybe drawing up a play instead of, again, hero ball. Let's shoot from a three and kick our legs out and hope we get the foul call. And then,
well, I mean, of course, your game changes a little bit when Vic goes down. That's inevitable. You're not going to.
Yeah, I missed that.
What
caused the Vic injury? Was it just like a collision
his ankle hitting the floor?
Down. Yeah. He either stepped on a Tulane foot or he stepped on the floor. There's mixed opinions.
I mean, and then
but your ankle's not supposed to hit the hardwood.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to do that.
Right.
No.
It's not supposed to.
No.
It's not supposed to do that.
Regardless, it looked like it hurt, but he should be fine. That's what Wes said, at least.
And then, I don't mean to be a blame the refs guy, but it seemed like the refs were swallowing their whistles for the whole game, and even the announcers had made a comment like, "Oh, this is," I don't remember the exact words they used, but if you're playing this game tonight, you're here for a battle because they're not calling fouls. And then 30 seconds after that, they started calling a bunch of fouls.
That's simply not true. Even when they called that, there were already 27 fouls in the game.
Okay, right.
The game finishes with 39 fouls. Between the two games, that is 82 fouls, I believe, between the two games against Tulane. 43 in the first game, 43 fouls in the first game, 39 fouls in the second game. 82, if my quick math is correct there. That's insane. To average over a foul a minute, and of course you had overtime, but for regulation, you average over a foul a minute for 80 minutes of play. Absolutely insane. Tulane shot the lights out in the second half. I'm seeing if I can find those numbers here.
Well, you looking for their points?
No, just shooting percentage in the second half.
I have that one up.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Cook,
I got it here.
27, Cross with 27, Forbes with 24.
61.8% in the second half, going 21 of 34.
They were only 4 of 9 from three. Everything clearly, when Vic went out, they said, we are just taking everything to the rim. And there's nothing Cincinnati's going to be able to do about it. Cincinnati had, let me see, 2 blocks in the second half. Tulane shot 100 shots at the rim in the second half, and Cincinnati blocked 2.
100.
So Ron Hunter clearly did the right thing when he saw Victor Locken not in the game, and they said at halftime, we're just going to attack. We're going to play downhill. Their guards can't stay in front of us. And here's something I want people to realize, okay? When your guards can't stay in front of them on one end, what do you think that means on the other end? That your guards aren't quick enough to get by their guards. Yeah. Like, why don't you draw something up? Well, what do you draw up? If your guards can't turn the corner and get downhill against their defense, what are you drawing up to get your team to the rim without your one guy that you can play through at the rim? They stopped playing drop coverage. They took away the pick and roll, which worked in the first half. That was a big part of their run in that 11 minutes to end the half, is they were, coming out high on ball screens, allowing the big man to slip to the rim. Cincinnati, that's how Odie got most of his points. That's how Kalu scored. And then they stopped doing that. Like, they just played a straight up coverage on pick and rolls, left their big guy with the Cincinnati big guy. Now your big is not being able to roll to the rim and get open. They don't have anybody on this roster that, outside of Vic, that they can throw to really in a post-up situation. So for everybody that's like, well, draw something up with 10 seconds left, that sounds great. But if you can't beat them off the dribble, Ed, how do you get to the rim?
But you have to be able to draw something up better than let's run down the court and just chuck it up in the air and hope for a foul.
Your best player or your best shooter, clutch player, rimmed out a 3 at the end of the game. Again, it's easy to say, draw something up. But if your players aren't built to execute what you're asking them to draw up, you got 10 seconds left. You're not running a play. It takes 3 seconds to get the ball up the court. Now you're at 7 seconds. Like, there's no drawing up a play there. It's a ball screen. You come off the ball screen. The guy with the ball either makes the shot or he finds somebody else that the defense helped off of and gets open to make a shot.
UConn would argue that 10 seconds is probably more like 20 seconds when you're on the court.
And I'm not making 14-year-old jokes. Like,
that was a good one, though.
No, not really.
I thought it was. Aaron smiled a little bit, and so did Reagan.
I'm just saying, like, it sounds great to say draw something up. But if they can defend what you draw up, then you get what you get. And that's, like, Dave is not a guy that comes downhill off of ball screens. He's just not. That's never really been a part of his game. So you get the ball screen, you get Dave in isolation, he takes a 3 that rims out. Like, I don't know what about you saw in the second half without Vic that made people think they were going to be able to get something downhill to the rim. They didn't get it.
They lost a lot of depth in this game too, between Vic going out, Rob going out.
Yeah.
Landers at that point was being double teamed. Dave was probably your best opportunity, unless you want Jeremiah Davenport launching a 3. So those are pretty much your options.
3 of them.
I was gonna say.
No? Yeah. Overall, he had 3, right?
No, he was 2 for 7.
No, 2. Sorry.
But he had a clutch 3 at the end there. It was nice.
Tied in overtime.
It was nice.
You just
Aaron won't say it.
I don't think he played a good game. It's frustrating, but that's it.
You can still say he had a nice 3 to tie the game up.
Okay, he had a nice 3 to tie the game up.
So, in any case, frustrating loss. Obviously, the broadcast didn't help anything. And everyone, I think, is more mad at ESPN Plus than anything.
Who broadcasts the Big 12 games?
Was it ESPN or was it Tulane, though?
So what happens is on these ESPN3 broadcasts is the school has its own infrastructure
right
that broadcasts the game. So, like, if you go to a game that's ESPN3, you won't see, like, if you go to a game that's an ESPN game, you see that big fancy truck sitting outside that's got like $30 million in equipment. You'll see like a box van at the game when it's an ESPN Plus broadcast.
An Amazon Sprinter van is sitting out.
Yeah, that's like it's a souped up Sprinter van when it's
all day long. It's delivering packages, and then at night it's a.
I guess the biggest issue I have with any of that though is the fact that if you're going to put your name on it, make sure your broadcast isn't just straight garbage. And that's the second time that we've experienced that on ESPN Plus this season, and it's maddening.
Yeah.
One of the
sorry, Aaron. They also do that with the broadcast team, correct, Chad? So it's like it's local. Like I know, like here in Cincinnati, like they do
Kevin
that
Johnson
somewhat.
and Anthony this year, Matt Noonan last year do a lot of the ESPN Plus games.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Lindsay is her name, the sideline reporter.
For Cincinnati.
Yeah, is that her name?
No, it's Kelsey.
Kelsey Conway.
Kelsey. Isn't she local?
Yeah, she played lacrosse for UC.
Okay, so it seems like they keep everything kind of
but
localized as they can.
The point being, like, okay, it's local. When the color commentator says, "I didn't expect Cincinnati to shoot a bunch of threes," they're the number one team in the conference in points off of 3-pointers.
No, I get that.
If you've done 1 second of research on Cincinnati, they shoot a lot of threes.
He did.
I mean, I don't know if I expected 48.
I mean,
that's
Davenport wasn't the game.
Regardless, it's like anyone could see that if you're watching the game, like those guys were like hooked on Tulane. They had nothing really great. Right. And it was like any little thing that they would like go up in flames. Like, oh my God, Tulane. It was actually annoying. And then the comments that they kept making about like, man, they just won't go away. Referring to Cincinnati as like they.
Like, yeah, they should just go away. Why don't they just go away?
Yeah.
And let Tulane win this game.
Why don't they just give up? That's what's written in the script. Why won't Cincinnati stick to the script? This is ridiculous.
Tough to win a game.
ESPN Plus, the Big 12 has games on ESPN Plus, Kathy. But the schools are responsible for the infrastructure. And at the Big 12 level, the schools are going to spend a lot more money on the infrastructure for their broadcasts. Guess what? UC's had games on ESPN Plus all year that are at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything like tonight happen on one of those broadcasts?
Not since NKU.
Not since the internet was out.
NKU, yeah. That was a completely different story.
Not since somebody turned the internet off at NKU.
Kentucky, it's hard to get internet.
They didn't plug the router back in.
Yeah. I'm sorry, they had to unplug it so they could microwave their hot pocket. Sorry.
It's tough to win a game though when you shoot 27% for the night, and that stayed at 27% even in overtime at 3 of 11 from the field.
0 of 4 from. By the way, Aaron, 0 of 4 from 2. There were 3 of 7 from 3.
You're right.
0 of 4 from 2. I just don't know with Vic out what makes people think that all of a sudden, like, and if they make twos, it's generally Landers or Dave hitting like a 12 to 17 foot like floater or pull up.
No, you're
except for the rolls to the rim by Nolly and Ezekpe when before Tulane switched their coverage.
Well, and looking at Odie and Kalu, they between the two of them had 25 points. And if you think that Vic wasn't going to have a field day with Tulane, if he had stayed in the game, been healthy, I'm thinking it might have been closer to 25 to 30 just for Vic at that point, if he had been able to hold out those minutes. In any case, I want to talk about one single play in particular when there's roughly about, 10.9, 10.2 seconds left on the floor, and Tulane just launches the ball into the stands.
And they don't call it technical.
Yeah.
And I think the TV stopped being scrambled just long enough for me to see him launch the ball into the stands.
How's that not a technical?
How's that not a technical? I don't know.
Right in front of Doug Shows.
Yeah, he was right there.
He's supposed to be giving it to the ref. Instead, he launches it, about 12 rows into the 15-row field house that is Tulane with their supposedly.
If it's not a technical, it's at least a delay of game.
Right.
I've never seen anything like that happen at the end of regulation.
It felt like we were handing out tees left and right. So it's like,
might as well.
one for you. Like it felt like one of those towards the end. So
and maybe Ron Hunter had kissed one of the referees at some point. I wouldn't know because I couldn't see the actual game.
Probably did. I forgot he did that earlier this year.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened. Much like earlier in the season when he kissed one of the referees directly on his forehead.
I completely forgot about that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, when we played them earlier this year, he went out on the court and kissed the ref on the forehead.
No, there was a timeout, and the ref came over to talk to him during the timeout, and Ron Hunter grabbed him by the ears and pulled him in and kissed him on the forehead.
At Fifth Third?
Yes.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
I've never seen.
Completely forgot about that.
I've never in my life seen a coach embrace a referee during a
technical
game.
too for touching the referee.
Much less kiss one on the forehead. Very, very weird. In any case,
I don't like Ron Hunter.
No.
He has been added to the list of people who can meet me at Washington Park.
Oh.
All right. So any other thoughts from this game?
What did we think towards like the very end of the game when David got ejected, Wes was getting teed up? Like, how do we feel about all that?
I wonder what Cook said to DDJ, because DDJ does not get heated like that too often. He's usually
I want to know what David was saying out the door.
Oh, yeah.
He was still saying things.
No, Cook said something as he was being ejected, like removed.
Yeah.
Cook said something, and that's what fired him up. That's why Cincinnati got 2 free throws. After the scrum, after everything settled down, after they were sent to the benches, the refs look over everything. They inform the 2 benches. And then for some reason at Tulane, you have to walk past the opposing bench.
I thought that was weird.
That was
I thought that was weird.
So as they were
the whole setup was garbage.
As they're walking Dave out, Cook says something to him again, and that's when Cook got teed up that sent Landers to the line for 2 free throws. Those free throws were after the fact.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they all said, so there was no free throws to begin with.
You can understand my surprise when I'm listening to the announcers, and they've talked about Wes Miller being tossed from the game about 17 times. And the screen finally unscrambles, and he's still on the sideline getting a new piece of gum. So I don't... What are we doing here?
I really want to know what you said.
They're literally sidelined in an arena of roughly 2,200 people tops.
There was
how did they not hear if he was actually tossed or not?
No, they just anticipated that he would be tossed because he got 1 technical. Oh, well, he's going to get a second one. He's out of here. And then he didn't get the second one.
He said, I think he's going to the showers. He's done.
Yeah.
And they, I think,
probably should have gotten a second.
It is a possibility.
He wanted a second.
I think he did want a second. I think he was trying to take one for the team there and put the loss on him so that when you go into the locker room, you can say, that one's on me, fellas.
I want to talk about this too. What Kathy's saying, Hunter should have been teed up for enticing the mess. Did you guys see? Probably didn't because of the broadcast. Probably not. But after the first initial melee, Ron Hunter starts walking back to his bench. He like brushes off his shirt and he looks over at the crowd, over at the bench, at the UC bench, and just gives him a wink. And I'm like,
I saw that. And I was wondering where his direction was in comparison to like the bench.
Oh, it was definitely towards the UC bench.
The only reason I question that is the football team was also there, and it looked like they were sitting behind that rim where Cincinnati was sitting on the right side. And I don't know. I mean, apparently I saw somebody tweet somewhere. I don't know if it was somebody at the game or something that they had seen in the scramble of everything. But I guess the football team was starting to chirp at the bench.
Well, you could hear it. I was watching it on my computer, so I had my earbuds in. You could hear the football team chirping. Like they just kept yelling at everybody. But Ron Hunter, I don't like that guy.
The way that Ron went into the crowd at
pushed
student section, the crowd.
He borderline stiff-armed the sideline reporter.
I know, and I said that too. I was like, he literally told Aaron to go fuck off. He was like, nah, and then pretty much dived into the crowd. It was like, I'm gonna surf.
What was that all about? Like, if we're
gonna be honest, all sweaty too, and I was like, I'd be pissed if that man came and gave me a hug.
kind of like a what's the Xavier Miller coach name? I don't remember his name. Sean Miller in that game when he was drenched through his white shirt. If you remember that one. Mm. I mean, Ron Hunter had nothing to be excited. Again, I'll say it again because we've already said it once. If Vic doesn't get injured, they don't win that game.
Well, Tulane obviously cared about this game. Clearly, I mean, I saw somebody tweet about this, but they said every shot in the late half of the second half, they were cheering as if they won a championship. They did pull out the biggest troll of them all as they celebrated the Cotton Bowl at halftime against a Cincinnati team whose football team lost the Cotton Bowl just last year against Alabama. So hat tip to them on that. Playing head games the whole game. Ron Hunter maybe being the king of all of the head games there throughout the game. But just a weird flow of again, Chad, we talked about this last night, I think. You're not able to get into a flow when you have 39 fouls called in a game.
Yeah.
I still can't get over 82 fouls in the series this season. Absurdity. Absolute absurdity. With only an additional 5 minutes of play. So I don't know, close to a minute per or a foul per minute at 82 to 85. I don't know, Chad, Ed, Reagan, any last thoughts on this game as maybe the last time that Cincinnati will ever play Tulane?
I'll be happy when we never have to play them again. If we have to play them in the conference tournament, I hope it's somewhere close by so I can be there so that Ron Hunter and I can square up because it will happen. But I will be happy that we never have to play them again. Aaron, I have been boxing again. I will let you know.
I mean, don't get us kicked off YouTube for threatening to fight someone.
That's a good point. I'm not going to square up against anybody. I actually love everybody, YouTube.
My last word, my parting thought of this game, and probably the dagger that hurt the most. I would have won my bet if Victor didn't get hurt.
Did you call the over?
Yeah, I did.
I did too.
That was my lock of the night, was the over in this one.
Yeah.
Thought it looked terrible at halftime.
I took the parlay though with Cincinnati.
You don't know how to take. You don't know how to take a win. You have to make sure you lose.
I wanted the win and the over. Why would I mean? Everybody got on me for. I thought they were going to lose this game. They did, but I still took Cincinnati and the over. Nailed the over, but in any case,
I'm actually done betting until after February 18th.
You're not betting on the Super Bowl?
I can't lose any more money if I'm going to buy those Jordans.
You're not going to win the lotto on the Jordans.
Why are you so negative?
Just bet on the Super Bowl.
No, we're not allowed to bet on the coin flip here in Ohio.
Or the Gatorade. Or the national anthem.
Yeah, none of that. All the stuff I was excited
about. In Ohio?
No,
just
Mo
there's
tweeted something earlier this week.
Yeah, there's prop bets, but some are legal in Ohio.
Maybe because they can be easily altered based on where the money is in Vegas.
Well, so can the score.
What?
Okay.
I mean, if money is going one way in Vegas, like orange, and they go blue because way more money was on orange, then I would understand why Vegas would be like, we got this. Oh, I don't know. That's the conspiracy theorist of me.
Dan Simon's back on Twitter. Or Dan
That's
Simone.
Always pleasant.
Hooray. Dan Simon's been gone for a while. 6 games left. Cincinnati goes back home to take on South Florida on Saturday at 7.
7 p.m.
7 in the evening. I might go make that game.
No more Tuesday games the rest of the season. Only 2 for the year.
Aaron loves the Tuesday game stat.
It's so strange. I don't know.
Why?
I don't. I just thought it was weird that we played this game on a Tuesday.
Well, what's even weirder is like you play it on ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
On Tuesday.
Why isn't it on like a Wednesday? Like the normal rotation of like you're on ESPN Plus, but hey, you've got your only Tuesday conference game of the year.
Yeah.
In a game that nobody's going to be able to watch, and if they can watch, they won't be able to see.
Tulane's video crew was due for a maintenance upgrade tomorrow, so they couldn't.
Keenan, do you remember Keenan Singleton, the guy that famously recorded Tommy Tuberville's "Go to Hell, Get a Job"?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's a Houston fan. He said when Houston played there, they had similar issues with the feed on ESPN.
The telecast?
Yeah.
Because it's a shit show. Absolute shit show.
It was horrible.
But Cincinnati, again, South Florida on Saturday, before traveling to East Carolina, traveling to UCF, back home against Temple, at Memphis, and then at home against SMU to close it out.
I will say it was really nice beating Orlando Tech on Saturday. Like that was a great game.
Sure, Ed. Yes.
Well, I mean, we talk about it. We haven't had a show since then.
You're right.
It was a nice win.
There was a lot to unpack tonight. I wasn't really going to start with.
I just thought I would bring it up real quick just so we.
What you think about last Saturday?
Well, but
I already gave my thoughts.
Other than that, how was the play, Miss Lincoln?
Damn.
So they will play UCF again.
I'm going to go to the theater again.
As part of those 6 games, with the injuries now.
Yeah.
Well, it sucks for Rob because you're just getting him back.
Finally got back out there,
and he was making an impact. Like his impact defensively was being felt immediately. And I think if you have him against Jalen Cook at some point in this game, where you say, "Hey, go give us 3 minutes to stop this guy who scored 12 points in a row and 35 points in the second half," it felt like. I mean, what?
Well, did you see the plus minus while Rob was in was 8, and there were only 3 players who had positive plus minus in this game. Rob Finney with 8, Dan Skillings with 3, and Micah Adams Woods with 3. That said, I think that Rob was actually spelling Micah to where he was starting to get his legs back. He made some big threes tonight. I was so happy that he had his 3-ball back.
Yeah.
Finally.
Is Rob able to come back? No. If Rob is done, if it's a season-ending injury,
that sucks.
That's it.
So
he deals with a broken foot that cost him most of the season. He rehabs, he fights all the way back, and then this is his 4th game back? 3rd or 4th game back?
Yeah, 3rd.
A season ender.
I feel for him. That sucks.
That's horrible.
Cook went into the huddle, the announcer said. That doesn't surprise me with the way he was acting at the end of the game.
I'm surprised.
But he said something to Dave, and I've seen Dave react to one specific thing, and I'm guessing that one specific thing was said to Dave.
Do you want to say what that is?
Yeah, dude.
I'm guessing he called him a female dog.
Okay.
Because I've seen Dave react to that being said before, and that's how he reacts. He does not like being called that.
Yeah, fair enough.
6 games left. A couple injuries on the board.
You got to get Vic back.
You
don't get Vic back soon, very soon, including Saturday. This is a rough end of the season.
I think the thing about Rob is that, unfortunate as it is that he was out pretty much since the jump, and he got to come back for a couple games. Like we've been okay without, like, he's made an impact since he's come back, but we know how to play without him.
Yeah, but I think Aaron hit on the important thing, Reagan. Micah was wearing down.
No, I get it.
And Rob was allowing Micah to get a little bit more of a break.
Yeah.
And now you're going to rely on Micah to have to go back up in the 30-plus minute range, which is we saw last year. That's not a good range for him.
Yeah.
I did notice, I want to say about midway through the first half, Landers Nolly on more than one possession in a row. Like there were several possessions in a row where he was the one bringing the ball up court, running the point. And Dave was able to play off the ball. And I'm curious. I don't think Micah was in at that point.
I wonder how much of that. I'd have to go back and look, Aaron. I did notice it as well. I wonder how much of that was just rebound comes off. Rebound comes off. Landers is the guy that's there.
But I'm curious to see if that becomes something that they're able to potentially have, Dave playing off the ball as opposed to coming up with the ball. And I thought that it actually but
then you risk wearing Landers down.
Well, Landers is also your best passer without question on this team. And I thought it allowed him to get open as he wasn't the guy playing off the ball immediately. They had to try and tail him after he's passing the ball off to somebody else. And so I don't know.
I liked what I saw when he did it. I just would have to go
agree.
back and look and see how much of it was like just a circumstance, or it could have been planned. Like, do you hang back?
Who knows?
And be the guy that brings the ball up.
Just curious to see what happens there.
Evan can go bye.
You don't. Oh, you don't have to. You don't have to block.
You're gonna come in and start hanging L's. Like, get out.
You don't have
to come
block.
in and
you can put him in. You can put him in timeout, but
not tonight.
It's
not that ESPN broadcast.
He probably found us through Ed's Twitter anyway. So
that guy's only going to get worse next season as we're playing Oklahoma.
Yeah, you want to come in and be respectful and have a conversation. That's great. You want to come in and be an ass? Get out. And guess what?
Have something to say about that
never going to have to play Tulane again, so we'll never see that
there
guy ever again.
I would like it on record that I'm happy for their football team, but
I like their football team.
Yeah. Well, Aaron was trashing the football team earlier, and I just want to put it out on record. I was happy.
No. I wasn't trashing it. I just thought it was an excellent troll job for them to present the Cotton Bowl trophy at halftime against Cincinnati. That is certainly a troll job. They couldn't have picked any other game to do that. Come on.
You think they did that on purpose, Aaron?
100%.
He believes
to have the whole no. You filled 120 seats just by having the football team there. Of course they did that on purpose. How many people showed up to see the Cotton Bowl trophy presented to the football team? Because tonight, 100% they did that on purpose.
On a Tuesday night.
I guarantee you that was their biggest crowd of the year.
It had 2,328.
In a 4,000-seat stadium.
Is that really how much there was?
Yeah, that's what, according to
ESPN.
Stat Broadcast.
Stat Broadcast.
That's what UC runs all their stats through.
Yeah, I know. I'm on that, Aaron.
I don't know what you have access to down there.
Down there? What do you mean?
When you're on the sidelines, I don't know. That's what
Kentucky.
I mean down there.
He was making a Kentucky reference, I think.
I don't live in Kentucky, Ed.
Oh, never mind.
She's at Lunkin.
I had a 50-50 shot there.
Not anymore, Aaron. Not anymore.
You moved?
Not yet. I move on Saturday, but.
Well, then you're still there.
Well, I don't want to dox myself, but.
Yeah, let's not do that.
In any case, 6 games left. 2 of them against UCF and Memphis. Still not feeling good. Certainly not with the injuries on the road.
Temple at home. You got 3 tough games in these final 6. And look, if Vic's not good Saturday, is it Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday
night at 7. Yeah.
Yep.
If Vic's not good Saturday, this is a team that desperately needs Victor Lock. Like, you've got a 3-headed monster, and a 3-headed monster is a lot more scary than a 2-headed monster. Missy's trying to get some airtime here. I love her.
I certainly appreciate what Odie and Kalu were able to do, but I don't think you can.
Sure.
I don't think you can rely on 25 and whatever the 13 from Odie and from Kalu another 1.
What Kalu average in the A10? Like 16 and 7, something like that. Just gonna need 16 and 7 a night from Kalu. Gonna need his ODU numbers.
He put up 9 and 9. Not bad.
Right?
Not bad.
Chad, what do you think the chances are of Landers staying one more year? Like,
it's going to depend on NIL. If you can make it worth it for him to stay, I think you got a good chance to get him to stay. If you don't have the cash, you're probably not going to be in that conversation.
Did he get
a Bearcats? I've been in college a long time.
Did he get a Bearcats tattoo?
I have no idea.
I saw somebody say that the Bearcats tattoo seals the deal. He's going to be back next year. I thought that was interesting if he did, because I know he's got a very large Atlanta Hawks tattoo on his forearm. I didn't know if he put the Bearcats tattoo somewhere down.
I have not asked Landers to see his tattoos.
Can you ask him?
Sure, Ed. It'll be
I'll tweet him.
First thing on my agenda.
He did post a photo the other day with what I thought was kind of maybe I read into it a little bit, but the caption was like,
3 more games this year.
He was like, no, it's going by so fast. Like, I wish I could stay. Like, that's the vibe I got.
He had a couple cryptic tweets this past
I was like,
week.
no, I'm reading into that. But
for a guy who's generally quiet on Twitter, he
hasn't really tweeted much at all.
And he had a couple cryptic tweets this past week.
Speaking of cryptic tweets,
what?
Dave Simone cryptically tweeting from the Bearcat Journal account that we might have 2 guests on the BCJ podcast tomorrow night, shortly after the return of Dan Simon to Twitter.
Oh, man.
Good. I can't wait to hear his breakdown on the Big 12 trying to bring SMU and Arizona State, or sorry, Pac-12 trying to bring SMU and
San Diego
Arizona
State.
Okay.
They already have Arizona State. They're already in the Pac-12.
You're right.
So Dan's already got Landers Knowledge signed up for the podcast. All right.
No.
Dan
Simon.
Sorry.
Jesus.
Can I have a question that's been on my mind for a while, but it's also one of those things where I just don't know if anyone cares about, which is totally fine.
Oh, I talk about that stuff all the time. Go ahead.
That's Ed's specialty, is stuff that nobody else cares about.
Yeah.
I want to know why Jarrett isn't getting minutes all of a sudden. He hasn't had a single minute in a month, and he's perfectly healthy.
Kind of talked about that on Twitter this week, right? Like, he's just not.
Who?
Chad.
Sorry, Chad.
Right.
I can't look at every tweet.
You should. Fair. You should. You probably should.
Fair.
I don't know if it's just a matter of falling out of the rotation and maybe preserving a year somehow, some way. I'd have to go back and do the math on when the last game he played was. It's
been over a month.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I don't like it. You have if you play less than half of the season and in less than 30% of the games, you can get a medical. I wonder if that's in play.
All right.
It was one of those
I have
things
to do the math. I don't know the math on it. Like I'd have to dig into it.
Yeah. I noticed it. I've been noticing it for a couple weeks now, and then I was like, I bet I'm the only one who cares. But
a lot of people have brought it up.
There were a lot of people talking about it.
It felt weird that a bunch of people we're talking the low end of the bench, we're getting minutes, and all of a sudden he's just not.
He was ranked higher than Tari Eason. Plenty of people have been in his high school rankings. Plenty of people have been curious as to where one Jarrett Hensley has been.
Yeah.
Great. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
No, we're all just scratching our head. There's probably a gift that.
Okay, great that we're all on the same page then.
Yes. So 6 games left. How are we feeling about the rest of this?
Rest of the schedule?
Yeah.
Well, if you asked me before tonight, the answer would have been dramatically different.
Sure, but here we are. Doing a podcast where I have to ask you questions like this.
Well, we can. Hey, let's go
answer, though.
Let's go glass half full here, and let's say maybe this game tonight and these technicals maybe this is like the Kenyon Martin speech at halftime of the Xavier game, and maybe these boys will come out. I thought my screen went blank. Maybe these guys will come out for the next 6, 7, 8 games, and just play lights out
on the regular schedule, and then whatever you have.
You've got to get right Saturday and Wednesday. You've got to get right.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
I mean,
because that 3-game stretch, that 3-game stretch is going to define their seed, where they are going at what kind of momentum they have going into the conference tournament, what their health is like going into the conference tournament.
Yeah.
You've got to get right against South Florida and East Carolina, and then 2 of 3 at home, or 2 of 3 on the road. As I told Aaron, they clearly have been better on the road, but you got to finish these out, man. You're up 6 with 2 minutes to go. You got to hit one shot. If you hit one shot, you win the game. And they had all three of their shots in those closing minutes. Yes, they were from three. All three of them went in and out. Somebody's got to step up and hit that shot, because guess what happened for Tulane every time they had to hit a shot? One of their big three hit the shot every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
I mean, back to my point, like if we want to talk about 10 years ago, after the crosstown shootout fight, that the team went on a tear. And so maybe after this little skirmish tonight. And
that was not a fight, Ed.
The crosstown shootout fight? I'm talking about 10 years ago.
It was not a fight. Tonight was not a fight.
No, but I'm just kind of comparing it. I'm trying to make
I don't even know if I'd call tonight a kerfuffle.
I don't need, you guys still have to explain to me what a damn kerfuffle is.
It was just a skirmish. It was certainly not a skirmish. It was not a Donnybrook.
You guys still haven't explained this to me.
It was not a slobber knocker.
It was definitely more than
knocker.
It was more than not seeing eye to eye.
Can I just be a glass half full guy here right now and say that?
Well, I'm gonna do you one better, Ed. I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna be glass half full guy, because I'm never glass half full guy. I'm gonna say 4-2
on record.
4-2 in these final 6.
So that's 11-7. That's what you predicted, and you had tonight as a loss.
I did have tonight as a loss.
Still...
No one had. Again, I want to say that maybe my favorite tweet I put out tonight was I did not have the refs trying to hit 40 and 40. What is that? Is someone outside? What's going on?
Did Chad go outside?
I don't know. There was a truck, apparently.
Sorry, I live on a very busy road.
I guess.
I thought Aaron
windows
was back
open tonight?
No.
It sounded like me being back in the.
Yeah, you were back downtown, Aaron.
Sorry, guys. I move in like 3 days. Okay, give me 3 days.
You're fine.
You're right, Jeffrey. Geoffrey. It definitely wasn't a Donnybrook.
What is it?
But I wish that I could have bet on the refs trying to get to 40 fouls, which 39 so close. I would have. Oh man,
they were calling tees like that. They were doing everything they could to get. Doug Shows was doing everything he could to get to 40 for you.
You're right.
You're saying what
also
DDJ did tonight wasn't a Donnybrook?
No.
The definition of a Donnybrook, a scene of uproar and disorder and a heated argument.
It was not a scene of disorder. The refs were in control.
There were no pushes by David DeJulius.
No punches.
No punches.
That was not disorder. Everyone was fine.
It was fine. This is fine.
Everything's gonna be all right, guys.
Everything's gonna be all right.
I don't think I have that sound effect anymore.
Reagan, what you got on the final 6?
No.
I'm sorry.
Final 6 games. What are you predicting here?
Okay, South Florida, East Carolina, UCF. Honestly, like I said, I was pretty confident in what I thought would happen, and now I'm not sure. I just need to know, like, when is Vic coming back, and then I feel like I can give like a confident answer. But I do think that this weekend could be like a get right. I do agree with Chad when he said that.
It's gotta be.
And then my whole thought too was, again, before tonight, was they want to come back, and beat Temple and Memphis, because those games should have been won, in my opinion, the first time around.
So you got them at 5-1?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want me to give you a for sure number? Is that
That's
what you want?
where we're at. Yep.
Okay.
No one's holding you to this. No one's gonna come in your mentions and be like, no.
I get anxiety.
He might.
No, I hate being wrong. I don't put out my picks unless I'm 100% about them. So, yeah, I'd probably say 3 and 6.
3?
Yeah.
3 and 3?
3 for 3, yeah.
Right.
3 of 3.
They're running the table.
Oh my god.
You're saying so they go 3 and 3 down the stretch.
And I said what I said.
3 wins, 3 losses, Reagan. That's where you got them?
Yeah. Are you gonna write that down? No one.
It's in the
Don't
fear.
remember that.
No,
Don't remember that. Don't note that.
Chad, what you got?
I think he left.
I still think 5-1. I still think they go 12-6 in conference.
Wow.
Now, if Vic is out for an extended period of time, then different.
Well, that's not fair. That's not fair because I just said that.
No, you preface that you.
It's my network. Whatever I say is fair.
Okay, well, I want an asterisk by mine.
Asterisk.
You prefaced that it had everything to do with Vic. I think you covered your ass.
In honor of Tom Brady retiring this week, Reagan would like an asterisk next to that.
By the way, never mind.
Can I
Oh, you're about to say something about that tweet.
Save that for the lightning round.
Stuff.
Oh my goodness!
I wasn't going to talk about that, but that is funny.
Aaron stared at that way too long.
That was my bum of the week, actually. What are you doing?
That's their bum of the week. There's so many better bums of the week.
Maybe the officiating crew tonight.
Aaron last night.
Oh,
Okay.
womp womp womp. Womp womp womp.
Aaron got you a guess last night.
All right.
Guess wasn't the problem. Guess was great. I love that guy.
So
chopping wood in the background.
That was I still don't know what to make of any of that. That was strange.
He was chopping
wood
in the background?
No, he wasn't. He had a fireplace. Like there was a TV like behind him here.
Okay.
And there was a fireplace on the TV, and then it switched to chopping wood for the fireplace.
Oh yeah, my in-laws have a TV that does that. Yeah.
That's where it got weird.
It's like there was a fireplace, and then the fireplace ran out of fire, and then somebody went outside and chopped some wood, and then all of a sudden the fire was back.
Chad, I don't know if you caught this at one point. I don't know if there was a commercial or what happened, but there were people in a bed, and I'm like, oh God, what's happening right now? I was not putting that. I saw the way that Ryan reacted when I talked about the firewood. I was not putting that out into the ether that there were people in a bed right now because everything would have gone off the rails. And that poor guy would have been I can only imagine how embarrassed he would have been at that point in time.
Did you not love me dropping confusing Ryan Royer facts on him? Because he obviously had no clue who Ryan Royer was.
No clue. None whatsoever. Oh, my goodness.
Ryan was going to go to the Senior Bowl last year, but he turned it down. And the guy was like, oh, really? And I was like, no, I'm just kidding.
So speaking of our guest last night, we did have the Senior Bowl. Ed, did you keep up with anything to do with the Senior Bowl?
No.
That's about what I figured.
I was sick last week. What do you want me to do?
Well, I don't know that you've ever been one to not turn on the TV when you're sick.
I did not turn on the TV the whole time I was sick. That was the worst case of food poisoning or stomach bug that my kids have ever brought home.
Look, just because that's what you called in to work with, you don't have to give me that excuse. It's fine.
I'm telling you, dude, I would have been on the show last week if I could have got out of the bed.
You were on the show. You were just in the comments.
Well, and I barely got that turned on.
So, Reagan, I know that you paid attention because I told you that we were going to talk about the Senior Bowl. But I also know that you said that you were not going to be paying attention.
Yeah, I was like, don't throw me under the bus like that.
No, you're fine. But either of you, do you have any thoughts on the fact that a couple guys played between Josh Wiley, Trey Tucker, and Ivan Pace? I'm sure you saw some of the replays of Ivan Pace just destroying a guard on the line to where the guard ends up making the tackle on a running back. Maybe one of my favorite things that I've ever seen Ivan Pace do outside of the probably his sack celebration where he did an army crawl and lined it up. You remember that one, Chad?
Yes. I do.
The army crawl sniper. Okay. I think I was standing in the end zone with you on that. But did you have any thoughts at all in regards to the guys in the Super Bowl?
I feel like I heard Trey's name a lot on Twitter. Just
throughout the week.
During the week,
sure.
yeah. He had he had two really good plays. or 2 good plays, a run for 12 yards, and then a catch for 13 in the game itself. And his biggest problem during the game or during the practices, he was consistently open. He had too many drops, which we've seen was
an issue.
Drops. If we're being honest, drops were a major problem for this offense. All year, all the way
for
to
both
the
him
final
and Tyler
play.
Scott.
Yeah, all the way to the final play. And Nick Mardner, like it was for their starting wide receivers, drops were a problem this year.
Yeah. No, I watched him. Send shivers down my spine.
Chad, did you by chance catch anything that happened in the Shrine Bowl? They don't. I don't even know that they put stats out for the Shrine Bowl, do they?
No, I could not get it on Hospital Network TV, so I did not get a chance to see the Shrine Bowl. There's only so many channels you get at Good Sam. I've talked to the nurses about it. We're going to need to upgrade.
You mean to tell me they don't upgrade that for you, Chad?
Like I've talked to them about, look, we're going to need an upgraded package. If you guys expect me to stay here for 6 weeks.
I thought you had them like this.
I do, but apparently the cable provider, they don't have a lot of say in the availability in the rooms. It's actually better than I thought. Like they do have NFL Network, they do have ESPN.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's not.
Could you bring your own like stick?
I was say, can you bring like a fire stick or something?
Yeah.
I haven't tried to hack into their TV yet.
Okay.
Here's the main problem with Kelly's, like the suite that we're in, because we're in a suite.
Penthouse.
We're in a penthouse suite. I'm on the second half of the room, and the TV is turned towards Kelly because I'm not going to be that asshole that's like, all right, I'm just turning the TV towards me, and you don't get anything. You can stare at these walls while you recover. So I let her watch the TV. Sometimes I'm like, we need to watch this together, even though you don't want to.
But it's together.
I'm not going to turn the TV all the way and be like, all right, I got to watch the Shrine Bowl. That's how you end up getting a divorce.
Yeah.
So I've been on this ride far too long for her to serve me divorce papers. That's not happening.
So true.
I have looked. I while you guys were filibustering.
Apparently, Lenny was good. Like Lenny had a good week at the Shrine Bowl.
There are no stats available outside of 3 players for the Shrine Bowl 2023 in a very quick Google search. So I don't know what Lenny did. I don't know what Arquan did. Was there anybody else there? I don't believe.
Lenny, Arquan. I thought there might have been one more, but I don't.
Was Bari there or any of our?
Bari didn't get invited to an All-Star game, which I think
any of our O linemen
really pissed about. No, I don't think so. It might have just been Arquan and Lenny.
All right. Well, nothing to see there.
Nothing to see here, folks.
So Reagan, you are a Betfred spokesperson. You are a betting aficionado, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And Ed and I are dum-dums in the world of betting, where I've been following several people on the Twitter sphere, trying to see what their picks are and trying to tail what they do.
I wouldn't call myself a dum-dum. I would just say I bet for the wrong stuff.
No, you actually quit because you could not afford to lose anymore until February 18th.
Well, I haven't lost anything. Like
you clearly haven't won anything either. Otherwise,
no, I have won. I started with 35, and I was up to like 135, and now I'm down to 100.
Okay.
So I have won.
Those were the free bets that they gave you, where it was like bet $25 on
They're
something.
Still bets.
Joe Burrow for 1 yard.
It was $50 that the Cavaliers would have a rebound.
Unbelievable.
There's still
those run out after like the first week. You get that, right?
I know, that's why I haven't won anything.
That's not necessarily true, Aaron. I'm still riding on all of my free money because I'm good at betting.
Thank you.
I just mean the ones where they give you like 1 rebound or 1 yard or one.
What Reagan's saying is she took those bets, made money off of them, and then continued to make money off of the free money that she made.
Yeah,
like
I
when you
haven't
buy
put
stock.
any like real money in.
Since the first deposit and all of that.
Yeah.
Why don't you have to deposit like $5?
I haven't either.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
How much do you have in your account, Reagan?
Well, I have.
That's not.
I don't want to tell Betfred this, but I have many different accounts.
That away.
Don't tell Betfred.
Hey,
Thoughts
Will's
on
back.
Tulane?
Will's back.
Will.
Will, come with something better than that, Will. I'm not going to
Will,
say
rewind.
something better than that, Will.
Rewind.
This is why you don't time out, Ed. This is why you block.
I was hoping Will would come with something better. I was thinking maybe he was a better fan of basketball.
He doesn't have to be blocked.
Apparently, Will is just a troll who doesn't know anything. Yeah, you're my daddy.
If they show up looking to troll, you just block the shit out of them.
I'll smack the shit out of him.
Ed?
Yeah, sorry.
Stop threatening people. We've talked about this.
We're not letting you say that.
If you get my YouTube channel canceled, I will fire your ass into the sun.
We're not even allowed to say that.
I don't know. We're in a cancel culture.
Oh.
Jesus, Ed.
That's not good.
I just heard Dana White talking about cancel culture on Pat McAfee today. It was wild.
I missed that.
I can't believe that he's still doing public appearances. That guy
It was wild.
Speaking of smacking, have you seen that new?
Oh
stuff
yeah, they go straight up unconscious. It's like Tua. Truly,
I saw one guy get smacked and he hit the ground and did a cartwheel.
They do the
truly
crazy hands.
Did you see the guy whose face was this big? Half of his face was this big.
I don't understand. That's the thing though. Like there's a market for it and it's blowing up all over social media. I had no idea that this was even Dana White's like thing.
Yeah.
I just saw it on TikTok and social.
You want to go, Reagan? Slap that.
Hell no. I'm way too pretty for that.
Ed, you in?
I can eat a slap.
Okay.
I would love to see you two.
I'm doing that. Chad has a lot of built up Twitter anger. I'm not doing that.
I feel like that would make for excellent numbers.
Chad and Aaron 1v1.
There have been a lot of people who have come at Chad lately on the internet. I feel like he would just put them on. Like
I talk myself out of fights. I've never been in a fight.
You talk yourself out of fights?
Yeah.
What about the Xavier game? The first crosstown shootout we went to. When did we square?
Go ahead.
You were about to if I would have stepped in.
Anyway,
that whole I just was talking about how he was talking about cancel culture and Pat McAfee and talking about how the media is trash right in front of Pat, and Pat like went beet red. He was like what am I supposed to say? Like, you slapped your wife, dude. Like, people are gonna come for you. You were people are gonna come for you and have something to say. And Dana was just like, no. I don't care what anybody has to say. Like, it doesn't really freaking matter. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, you hit a woman and you hit your wife. And he was like, that's between me, my kids, and my wife. I was like, you are a public figure.
When you did it,
God complex.
Oh, it was crazy. You gotta go back and watch it.
Geoff is 2 for 3 on the NBA tonight. Good job, Geoff.
He's only 1 of 3 on college though, so
yeah. Well,
2 out of 3 ain't bad. That's what the song said anyway. So getting back on track, Reagan, you are a betting aficionado. So what is it that you look for when you are making what you believe to be a locked on bet?
Well, first, I feel like if you don't have the money to lose, don't bet. And I feel like I tell everybody that, and not a lot of people listen. 2, if you're not having fun, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're out here like sweating up a storm over a bet, like, don't bet. Like, those are the 2 things that I ride with personally. Like if it's not fun for me anymore, I don't want to do it. And if I'm going bankrupt, like it's not worth it. Like I wouldn't be out here doing what I'm doing if I didn't have money to lose. So 3, I feel like I trust my gut with everything I do in my life, but specifically betting, I feel like if I know, like I could just like feel it in my gut, which sounds so bad because it's like, well, some people's intuitions are just wrong, you know? But that's why Aaron is hitting up my line, asking me for what's bet.
He does do that.
No shame. No shame.
Heard that.
And what am I on? 4? I feel like I bet things that I'm interested in and love. Genuinely like love. So I love the Bearcats and have interest in what they're doing. I know that I'm going to be like locked in for 60 minutes, 4 quarters, 2 halves, that's basketball and football, obviously. So bet things that you actually care about. Don't just like hop on like DraftKings or Betfred or whatever. See like what's live at the moment and then just say, oh yeah, that sounds good. Because have you even been watching the game? Have you been seeing the trends? Like, do you know who's hot? Do you know who's cold? Like, don't do that. That's so stupid.
That's fair. That's my problem. I'll get on there and just be like, oh yeah, LeBron would score 30 tonight. Yeah, no problem.
Look, no, exactly. Like you don't even know what's going on. Like, do you even check his stats for the night? Like those are kind of things.
It's like, injured, I wouldn't even know. I'd be like, oh yeah.
Exactly.
Did you bet anything on LeBron tonight, Ed?
No, I don't bet on LeBron. Michelle does, and she wins.
Okay, LeBron showed up in a fucking tuxedo to the game tonight with his mom in the stands, with his high school friends in the stands. If you don't think LeBron is going over Kareem's number tonight, you are a crazy person.
He probably will. Actually, my youngest son let me down today.
A tux.
We were at Parker's training, and Bryce just out of nowhere goes, "Daddy, you know who the best player in the NBA ever is?" And I was like, "Yeah, Michael Jordan." He goes, "No, that other guy." And I was like, he couldn't. He kept trying to say la la la. And I was like, are you trying to say LeBron James? Because yeah, he's the best. I was like, you have completely let me down.
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Oh no.
And then when I told him that statistically Michael Jordan is better, he kind of started crying. So
that's the other thing. Like with me personally, I don't watch NBA. I don't watch professional basketball. It's just not my jam. So I'm not going to tune in and I'm not going to bet on that. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, like.
That's how I feel about hockey.
Yeah. It's just like those kind of things. Like I'm not going to like, I'm not willing to like risk my money on.
If you don't watch it and you're not dialed in on.
Right.
But that's what I mean. Like it sounds like common sense, but then you got people like Ed who are willing to like throw around money willy nilly and say like, oh, that feels like an easy number.
$5 here.
Okay, I'm not suggesting that you throw hundreds of dollars around. When I say willy nilly, obviously,
so
take that with a grain of salt.
I mean, yeah, okay, you got me.
I recently realized what units is when people are talking about put 1 unit on this, 2 units on that, or 1.5 units
like
are generally considered 1 to 2% of your entire bankroll. Am I off in that assessment, Reagan?
Oh, I don't.
The unit is what you're comfortable betting.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a unit is widely like Dave Portnoy. A unit is $10,000.
Right. So that's good. But again, that's maybe 1 to 10% of whatever he is.
Basically whatever your standard bet is a unit. Right?
Whether that be 5 or 10.
Yeah, if you usually bet $5, then for Aaron, a unit is $5. If Ed usually bets 37 cents, then for Ed, a unit is 37 cents.
Yeah.
Reagan is good at this. So, $25, $50.
Not far off. So if you're trying to build a bankroll, if you're trying to build
Yeah,
money.
and like admittedly, like I'm not out here like spending thousands of dollars, right, on like a couple bets like over the weekend. Like that's not how like I'm rolling at the moment. like you're saying, like a Dave Portnoy is like willing to put like 25 thou on one game.
He's put 100, 200,000 on a game at times.
Right. Like, I mean, I follow all those guys. Like, I know how much like they're working with, and like, I'm not over here trying to suggest that I am. So, I mean, I think it's way more fun for me to like.
I was just curious if when you were betting, if you're trying to go in that type of mind frame where you have your units where you're locked in on, this is what I normally bet. I'm here with maybe 1 to whatever your percentage is on your normal standard bets, whether that be 5, 10.
Yeah, I roll with anywhere from 5 to 25, depending on if it's like
if you hit yesterday.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. Well, and 2, if it's a parlay, because obviously parlays are less likely to hit. But if it's a single game parlay, and come on now. Like if you're talking about like just things to happen in one game, right? Like sometimes those are a little bit easier to call as opposed to like across the board. Like I had a wild card weekend like parlay, I think, a few weeks ago, and I think 2 or 3 got hit out of the 4 that I put. But you just like, that's the thing too, like you got to like fish out what seems, I guess for lack of a better word, fishy. You got to understand that like it's a business. Like what Vegas is doing, they're running a business. They want you to put money on everything.
Oh, of course.
Like they want your money, and like they're gonna put lines out that they think can get money on both sides. They're not trying to like get money towards like one side or the other. Like they're trying to go like dead even pretty much if they can. And
that's why the line moves when the money moves.
Exactly. So one, like getting in on a line where you think is going to be like the best opportunity for you and what you want and which way you want. And then 2, fishing out the lines that seem a little fishy. You know what I'm saying? That are like, that feels a little off. So I'm either going to go this way or I'm going to go that way, if that makes sense.
Yep.
You got to be a little intuitive. You got to, like I say, sniff it out. Like if you're willing to do that. There are a couple, like, I mean, some people only want to stay like within the region because like you can't look at all the games and all the lines like all the time, especially like live lines. But I mean, those are fun only if you're watching the game though. That's what I recommend. Sure. Like, but if you stay like in a region, so if you're going to say like, oh, I'm only going to bet on Cincinnati, meaning Xavier and Bearcats, and maybe I'll go up to Xavier's fun to bet on. I'm going to go up and bet on the Buckeyes.
They're in Norwood. They're not in Cincinnati. They're in Norwood.
Sanction them.
Then you know what I'm saying? Like it's easier to keep all of your bets kind of honed in and make sure like the lines come out at 6 p.m. for the game before, for basketball at least, right. Not for football. But like you got to be on top of things. Like if you want to see what opening line's at, like get in at 6 p.m. Like look at the lines.
That's fair. I just need to be better.
You can text me anytime.
Like I just looked at one. Like
that was
I just
part
looked
of
at
the parlay.
Yeah,
What'd you say?
That was a way better segment than Kelsey talking Kelsey's.
Oh, that was bad.
My God, that was uncomfortable.
Who? What?
Kelsey last night came in and told everybody live on the air that Travis was her baby daddy.
Oh.
Yeah, she's 12.
Yeah,
got weird.
I kicked her out and told her she's not allowed. She's banned from the mic for the foreseeable future.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Didn't actually want to recap what happened. I was just hoping that we'd get by with just Kelsey's talking. Kelsey's was weird, and we could talk about it after air. But here we are.
Yeah, you brought it up, so here we are. There's no.
The New Heights was good this week.
Anyway, was that a good?
Yeah.
Like,
Did
do
you
we
learn
feel?
anything?
I
Do
just
we
learned,
feel better about betting?
I just learned that I need to stop
Are
doing
we-
the stupid bets and start doing some better bets. Yeah.
And
Okay.
also, again, when we're talking units, if you're going to do a parlay, start at half a unit or less. Not what you would normally
Not
bet
my
on.
normal
straight up.
$10.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll start at
Like-
start at $5.
Like a $1, $2.
Unless
So
unless
I
you
just saw
earn
one for
unless you earn a
octopus.
boost or something.
Ed.
And
The reason you're doing a parlay is because the odds are significantly larger.
I know that, but like,
Well, that's why you bet less money, because the odds are against you significantly.
yeah, but I like to believe in miracles.
I made a $5 parlay bet today. That's what I was talking about. With it would have hit if Victor didn't get hurt, and so I think if the payout would have been like 190, 200.
See, that's the kind of stuff I like to go for.
But all of the stuff that I bet on, like I felt good about. I really did, and all of them hit too.
It makes for a better story when somebody goes, "Hey, how's your sports betting going?" I'm like, "Well, check this out."
But
I hit this.
But let me ask you this, Ed. Are you betting to like tell people like, oh, I got that
Yes.
like really
The water
extravagant
cooler is
thing
why
that?
Ed is betting.
Are you
No,
trying
no.
to get street cred? Or are you trying to just like
If you mean a pair of
Have fun.
Jordans, is street cred? Yes.
see? That's the other thing. Like I don't care. Like I don't want. It's like
Jays.
what I make.
You don't want Jays.
What when I make, like I do it because I love I love the game. Like I love sports. Like I'm going to be watching the game anyway. I might as well just have fun, like rooting
Makes it more
for
fun. You're right.
rooting for the overall like outcome, rooting for a specific player. Like that's what I'm doing. It sounds like maybe your outcome for betting is a little different, and maybe like your heart just isn't where it's supposed to be.
Sounds like maybe I have a problem. And the
Again,
first step is admitting it.
you and I
Call
are
1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 plus in Ohio.
dum-dums at betting.
Like sometimes I'll just be
You
like,
tried to argue my point.
I'm not going to.
You did.
Okay,
Maybe
maybe
you
I
did try to argue that point.
But like sometimes I'll be like, I'll be flipping through Twitter and like I'll see the soccer team from Wales, Wrexham. I don't know if you've seen Welcome to Wrexham with okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'll be like, I wonder if I could bet on them. And then I'm like, oh, I can. And so like,
Yeah.
it's bad.
No.
But you don't know anything about them, Ed.
Yeah, that's
No, I do.
really-
I watched a whole documentary on them.
Oh, Ed.
Ollie Palmer, Paul Mullins.
But you don't know trends. Like you don't know who's
I don't know
doing
about the other
what.
Wales teams.
Like
You're right. I don't know about the other teams from Wales.
you know what I mean? Like if I'm placing a live bet, it's because I'm watching the game and I can see who's hot and who's not.
That's fair. That's fair.
What's your take on the Super Bowl trend, Reagan? I don't know if you know this trend or not, but since Andy Reid went to Kansas City,
Mm-hmm.
the Philadelphia Eagles have never beaten Andy Reid.
Whew. I think they're due.
I think the Philadelphia Eagles are really good this year, though.
That's ignoring a trend.
I think they're due.
For the sake of ignoring a trend, right?
See, I just don't.
No,
I can't
no.
do
That's me playing. That's me playing. But I don't think Ed knows. See, me and Chad have banter. Ed, I don't know if he gets it.
I apparently don't.
She catches on quick, Aaron.
We said that since her first interview.
Interview. Did I have an interview?
Yes.
I think I just showed up at Higher Ground one day.
Who
No,
hasn't
he's
played
talking about
anybody,
your
Jeff?
first on-air
Oh,
appearance.
my on air. Right. What'd you say? Who, Ed?
Jeffrey in the chat said they ain't played anybody yet, though. I'm wondering who he's talking about, the Eagles or
The
Kansas
Eagles.
City.
The Eagles.
I don't know. I have the Eagles this weekend. I haven't bet on it because, I'm done till the 18th. But I have the Eagles this weekend.
LeBron's already at 20, by the way. He only needed 36 tonight. It's not even halftime. He is setting the record tonight. Again, showed up in a tux.
Again.
Mom
Didn't
and
even...
family.
Bronny in the house.
Bronny.
High school friends in the house.
Yes, they're all
So
NBA executives and agents now.
Tux.
The script was written for tonight. I got you.
Yeah. Any thoughts on Reagan? I told you we talk about this just because you're here and I know that you care. The Bengals season did end last week.
I do care.
I care a lot. This was the first Sunday. Ed, I'm going to ask you, what did you do with your Sunday without football?
Had a nice little Sunday lined up. Went to IKEA.
Oh my God.
We went
You lived the worst life. Oh. I
This
went
is
to
the-
IKEA.
This is the 2023 version of Bed Bath & Beyond, Home Depot.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
went to
know.
IKEA. I got
I
the
don't
car
know.
washed. I cleaned
Yep,
out the
nailed it.
truck.
What did you buy at
Nailed it.
IKEA?
Nothing. He just window shopped.
I bought a like a little, I don't know, like a buffet. Like I don't know what you call it, but like a little thing for underneath the TV over here, and you could put like.
A console table?
Is it like that? Is that what it's called? I don't know. It's
TV
nice.
TV console?
Like yeah, but you don't actually put the TV on it. You just like kind of put because the TV's mounted to the wall, so you just put it like underneath it.
It's still called a TV console.
You put like a candle, maybe some.
You
family
had the
photos
option
on it.
to actually put a TV on it.
Mhm.
We do that actually with our TV mounted. There's room for a smaller TV underneath it, so we can watch two TVs at the
Well, so
same
I could
time.
do that. Yeah, that's a possibility if I wanted to.
Mhm.
But can we talk about real quick?
We're talking about what you did with your Sunday. What else
mean-
did you do with your Sunday?
Um,
Is that
What
a
else?
trash? Is that a trash truck? What's happening?
took out the
right
trash.
now?
I took out the trash. What else did I do? The
A small airplane? I don't know.
we went to Dick's Sporting Goods.
I
The boys-
do live around Lunkin. Can we just chill? I'm moving 3 days.
I like Lunkin.
Did that airplane almost hit your house?
It was Bearcat Air.
Do you live on the runway? That's what I'm curious. Like,
You live on the golf course.
Chad, we'll talk about it after the show. She's not trying to dox herself. She's
But also went to Dick's Sporting Goods and Parker bought
Ed.
a football and Bryce bought a new basketball.
all right.
oh boy.
I thought about buying a pair of Jordans.
Reagan, what did you do with your Sunday?
Well, like I said,
You were tailing off, man. You were getting to where you were
I'm
thinking
happy
about
for
buying a
kids
pair of shoes.
basketball.
Sorry, couldn't hear you.
Okay, like I said,
That's the new. Sorry, breaking up.
There's a plane landing on my house.
Okay, I'm moving 3 days. Wait, what's today? Today's
So you
basically
packed.
Wednesday, Thursday,
So
Friday,
you-
Saturday. So
you
I got
packed
the
on your
keys.
Sunday.
I got the keys to our house this past Friday, and we have a week of overlap over with our apartment and our house. So we've been painting all of the cabinets for the kitchen. So that's what I did this weekend. And
why are you painting the cabinets of all things?
well, because they're ugly.
What
Fair enough.
color are you painting them? Let me guess. I'm looking at your doors and your closets and your bed. Did you paint your cabinets white?
We were
No.
losing
No.
this. We were
No, you
losing
didn't
this.
paint your cabinets white.
No, I painted them tan.
Big, yeah, okay. white. That's white adjacent.
You want to guess what I painted my mantle? I'll show you a picture. It looks really cute. Okay, I don't like that. That's a little too close to me here. Painted it black.
Oh, it's really nice.
Thank you.
I saw a mantle and I want to paint it black.
The same thing was going through my head. I was trying to figure out how to make it work. Good work, Aaron. Good job.
All right. We are losing people by the minute, actually.
Yeah.
I think we were.
So Bengals are over. Season's over. What are your final thoughts on the Bengals season, Reagan Yoakum?
Well, the way it ended
was it a failure? Ed thinks the season was a failure.
I did not say that.
You did. You kind of did.
That's absurd.
He said they had to win the championship and make it to the Super Bowl. Otherwise, the season was a failure.
Oh my God,
That's not what I said.
What a piss poor attitude.
That's not what I said.
No.
My name's not Aaron. That is not what
coming from the negative guy. That's weird.
No, I'm negative too, but damn. No, I don't think it was a fail, a flop, whatever you want to call it. No. I think we looked a lot better than we did last year, which is saying something. And then I think that our first couple games were our preseason basically. So, and with Joe coming off of his appendicitis, we had to kind of claw back, the beginning of the year. So with that being said, the beginning of the year was kind of, that was shaky. That was rough. I hope Zach learned a few things. Maybe put our starters in for a couple minutes. Preseason would be nice. But at the end of the season, the championship game, we deserved to lose that. We didn't play how we needed to play for 60 minutes. So we lost, and that's that. I mean, it hurts. It hurts. And the next day I was depressed, but I mean, what are you going to do?
Exactly.
It would be a different story if we all knew that
that there was an NFL script or something.
Okay. Well, the fact that hashtag NFL rigged was trending for quite a while.
Hilarious.
It is hilarious.
I also don't like that it was the same ref crew. I don't like these. I can't say the same because it was the same head ref. But they do these ref all-star crews where it's the best refs at their spot on the field that get to make these playoff crews. And I don't know if that's the best way to go about what we're doing with the playoffs and Super Bowl. I don't know if I'm the only one with those thoughts.
Well, let me just put out there, I've said this for a long time, and you guys might have, touched on this too. But I truly believe that if we're going to hold players in their job to a standard and find them and beat the hell out of them in practice and
make them talk after a game when their emotions are high and find them
do off season training and workouts and blah 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 blah. Let's hold refs to that same standard because it is their job.
Well,
have them sit down and answer for the calls that they made, good and bad, and fine them for the things that they've missed and the bad calls that they made. I don't think that that's fair. Something needs to change. I've been preaching this for at least 2 years, and people are just now waking up?
No, that would require the NFL
full-time refs
to unionize and to be hired on full-time by the NFL. And until that happens, the NFL doesn't want to pay them benefits. That was why the whole NFL referee strike happened, 5 years ago, Ed? Roughly?
Around there, yeah. It was around, yeah.
I don't know if we were were we doing a show when the refs were?
Wasn't the NFL ref strike during Andy Dalton's first season?
I don't know if it was that
before my time, fellas.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I don't know how long ago it was, but it would require some of those things, benefits, and them not to have actual jobs as like, I don't know, lawyers and
Teachers.
shit that these guys, they're not teachers. Come on, man.
Is that what they actually do though?
Oh yeah, they're not full-time reps. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
They have real jobs.
Part of the issue, like we can't hold them to a standard if this is a part-time job, right? We can hold them to a standard, but we can't.
But I mean, aren't we holding like bench guys and practice squad guys to a
That's their
standard?
full-time job.
Is it? I mean, like, but
They get paid what, $1,000 a year? Something. I mean, at least $1,000 a year.
I don't know what practice guys get paid. I'm just saying, like, they definitely like aren't doing as much as like, you know, like a Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes. Like that's my point.
It was 2006. It was that long ago. Holy shit!
Damn, yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, it's Andy Dalton's first season.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
I thought it was so much more recently than that. They went on strike, and there were substitute refs, and that was a shit show.
That was Jason Kelsey's first season.
For like a half a season, there were substitute refs. It was a tragedy.
I think everyone recognizes that something has to change. I just don't know if one, they're willing to do that, and two, like if they want to put energy, you know, or if anybody has like a real solution.
I don't think anybody has a real solution except for a chip in football. But
I don't know. There's chips in the fucking balls, and we're just now finding that out. So
yeah, no, that was wild to find out. Like I remember listening to Pat McAfee, and I was like, a chip in the ball.
I remember seeing a tweet like, wait a minute,
chip
what?
in the ball. Like, no, it was the tweet from Next Gen Stats or something. When they were talking about the Ravens like Bengals game. That's when it came out because you know Huntley was trying to cross the ball over the line, which that touchdown would have been the death of us. But so maybe we're glad that there was a chip in the ball.
It was also nowhere near the actual line. So
wasn't it like point something?
According to the chip, but if you watch the actual replay from the sideline,
I think it was close.
It was like 2 yards off. That's 6 feet. Come on now.
It didn't look that far to me.
Maybe
to me.
Anyway.
So no, I don't think this season was a wash. Just to put that out there.
What are my takeaways from this season?
No, just saying,
I've directed that at you. The season was not a wash. The season was not a flop.
I never said it was.
Excited to see like what happens.
You said if they don't win or make the Super Bowl, it was a failure.
I said don't
walk it back, Ed. Don't walk it back. Say it with your chest.
I said I don't want not winning the Super Bowl become the standard.
They've never won the Super Bowl, Ed.
They have.
What? So now they're expected to go to the Super Bowl every year, though? No. That's not fair.
He's not.
You beat me to it. Me to it.
It's not fair.
No, it's fair.
Not fair.
All right.
You just said you don't know if your favorite team has ever won the Super Bowl or not?
Sometimes I forget things, Chad.
Oh,
there's nothing to forget. It never happened. Okay. Jesus.
My bad.
All right.
We're I don't get my takeaway for the season.
No,
didn't you already given that?
You've lost that right. You've lost that right.
My takeaway is that if we are going to be a winning franchise from now on, we have to stop getting hurt over the littlest things. Just because Travis Kelce called our mayor a jabroni doesn't mean we have to write him off and say, have you not seen Twitter? I mean, it's still out there a week, 2 weeks later. People are still up in arms about this. We have to have a thicker backbone than this. Like, we can't.
Squeaky wheels, Ed. Squeaky wheels.
I'm just saying.
Look.
I don't think it bothered the leaders of our team, and that to me matters most.
Like the guys in the locker room know if you're gonna talk that shit, don't lose.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I know it too. Like, don't talk to shit if you can't back it up.
But who
Like,
was talking it? Like,
us-
look at who was talking it.
The mayor, I know, but
No, not even there. In our own locker room, look at
Yeah.
who was talking it.
I know.
A cornerback said
I know.
Burrowhead, and outside
No,
of that,
it was Mike. It was
a cornerback.
Hilton.
yeah.
Mike Hilton, a cornerback.
Hilton.
hmm That was it.
Who's
All I'm
the
saying-
leaders in
Hilton
the
and
locker room?
Apple.
All I'm saying that is if we are
Our
going to be a Super Bowl contending team for the next 20 years, we need to have a thicker backbone than getting upset because somebody called our mayor a jabroni.
Are there people with thin backbones?
Is that not the word I'm looking for?
Skin. Thicker skin.
We have to have okay, that's fine.
I didn't know there was I didn't know people had like backbone
I'm sure
designation.
some people do.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
I
Look,
don't-
I mean,
Look, Ed,
yeah, you slipped and fell on the ice, but your backbone was thin, and now you're paralyzed.
I think people maybe with
Medically, that might be a thing.
scoliosis.
Ed just has a big backbone.
Ed is used to being called Big Bone.
Big bone.
So he thinks that's actually a thing.
Chad, you're jabroni.
Is that one of the new kid dances all the kids are doing? Remember Jason Kelsey did it in the end zone?
It's called the little.
I thought that was the Waddle, Jalen Waddle.
No, if you listen to New
this
Heights,
is
it's
the
called
waddle.
the little.
Yeah.
little
Look, I don't agree with anything you said up there, Ed, to be honest, at all.
So we should
I
get really
think-
upset because somebody called our mayor a jabroni.
No, hold on.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying.
You're look at the people who were getting upset over it, and look at the people who were talking that shit before the game happened.
Yeah, I
And
understand.
then look at who like our foundational leaders are of the team. I don't like. Of course, those people are talking the shit, and of course they're gonna be stupid because they're
Not
stupid.
Joe, not
Exactly.
Tamar, not T, not.
I was not talking about the players. I was talking about the fan base.
The
The
fan base
fan base is
they're-
whatever. Like people
they're
talk that shit all the time. Like,
fans are fanatical. That's what it's short for.
but of course the Chiefs are gonna come out and like have a winning mentality. Like, we didn't talk shit all week, but you did. Like, and then they're gonna talk their shit after they won the game. Like, we deserve that. Everybody
Say that there was
deserved
nothing
that.
impressive about our offense, and then asked for one of our offensive players for his jersey. So
Moving on.
Moving on.
I'm just saying.
I don't know that we have any more left here. Ed, do you have any lightning round questions?
No,
You want to talk about Tom Brady and his underwear?
no, I don't. I never wanted to talk about that actually.
I'll say that I'm glad that he's gone.
For the time being.
Sayonara.
See ya.
You ruined your entire life to go play 1 year of shitty football.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for another episode of Pardon the Punctuation. Thanks to Reagan Yoakum for standing in for Jeff Howell this week. It was a doozy. We did not expect the game that was tonight, pixels and all. However, we will be back next week at 9:15. There is not a Tuesday game to interrupt any of that. But for Ed Mayhall, for Reagan Yoakum, for Chad Brindle, this was another episode of Pardon Punctuation. We'll see you next week.
Ba-dum-dum.